Today I'll show you my take on painting a slot car track. Not to make it perfect, but to make it realistic. This build was inspired by someone whose work I genuinely respect. Someone who's been doing this properly for a long time. If you spend any time in this hobby, you already know his work, even if you don't realize it yet. I reached out, showed him what I was working on, and he responded. Let's do this. All right, now that I've been all serious and cinematic, let's immediately ruin that. Because this isn't a museum piece, it's a slot car track. And if you want proper paintwork, then the first thing you need to do is find your local wannabe graffiti artist. You know the one, thinks he's Bansky, is actually just vandalizing willy beans and electric boxes. Tell him that he's for ruining other people's property and the neighborhood's aesthetics. Then steal his spray cans.
Say what now?
Oops, did I say steal? What I meant was seize them for evidence, in case the police asks, you know. If he's as good as he claims to be, he will probably have these two spray cans in his collection. So for this job, we're using an ultra matte slate color as a base. That's our depth, and a lighter stone gray for highlights. That's it. No secret sauce, no 20-step process. If you don't want to traumatize a kid or get yourself arrested, you can also buy these from your local hardware store. Same result, less paperwork. But before we express our inner Bob Ross on the track, we need to mask the rails. Unless, of course, you only intend to use it as an art project. So grab a package of masking tape, make sure it's wide enough to cover the rails. Grab your trusted crafting knife. Don't be cheap, get a brand new blade. And let's move to the workbench to show you how it's done.
Nice and simple. Use a tape to cover the rails. Don't worry too much if it's not perfectly straight, just make sure the rails and slot are covered. Use your knife and follow the track groove to cut away the excess tape. Give the end a twist to mask the connectors. I'm doing this on a single piece as a demonstration, but you can do multiple connected pieces at once. You're only limited by your working space. For the turns, don't try to bend the tape and make your life difficult. Just use several straight pieces instead. Also make sure you have a fresh blade in your knife, or else you'll make your life very, very difficult. When you're done, grab your paints, grab your track, move to a well-ventilated area, take whatever safety precaution you need, and let's get painting.
Now, before we spray anything, let's get one thing clear. We are not deep cleaning the track. We're not sterilizing it, we're not sanding it. And if you're using Carrera track like I do, we're definitely not trying to remove the white line. Believe me, it's much harder than it looks. You must start with good intentions. Soft cloth, gentle chemicals, but frustration always wins. And before you know it, you're going much harder than you're supposed to. We want to keep our sanity. What we are chasing here is realism. Roads aren't perfect. There are 50 different shades of gray, not this gray. Patched in places with faded lines and damaged sections. Perfection isn't realistic. Realism lives in imperfection. All we are doing is giving the track a quick rub with alcohol. With alcohol. That's it.
So after a quick rub with the right alcohol this time, we'll lay down the dark undertone. This will give depth to the surface. Once that's down, we'll let it dry a bit and go in with a light stone grey. Keep your distance with this one, don't get close. We're not painting the entire surface, just highlighting random areas. If it comes out too dark or too bright, repeat the process with the opposite color. Once that's done, grab a drink, you deserve it, have a seat, and watch the paint dry. If anyone asks, you are busy as hell.
That was real whiskey! Nice.
And this is how the track pieces look after they're dried out. Multiple different shades of grey. You can see the white line peaking a little bit, but that's not a bad thing. I'm actually really satisfied with the result. A few splashes as well. Perfect. Next stage, the curbs. I was inspired by John from Das Slot Car Box. Shout out to him. The materials are simple, 2 colors of electric tape. I'm using red and white, but you can use anything. Curbs sit on the inside of the apex and on the outside at corner entry and exit, exactly where cars push to follow the racing line. Here's where my version differs. We're not putting curbs on the shoulders, we're placing them on the track itself. This gives the illusion that the cars follow a real racing line instead of running down the middle like a train. First, mark where the curbs sit. Mark every 20 millimeters as a guide. Then we have to decide the width of the curb. Too far in, cars will ride it. Too far out, they are purely decorative. My preference for a 132 scale, a standard 17.5mm tape width works perfectly. Mark the car direction. Tape goes like roof shingles, each overlapping the previous. This creates the rumble effect. Start from the corner exit and work back to the entry. For that, I'm cutting 30mm pieces from each tape. Using a metal ruler worked perfectly for me, making the process quick and easy, so you don't have little sticky pieces all over your bench. Once we have enough red and white pieces, it's time to place them on the track, starting from where our arrows are pointing, moving backwards. So the marks we have are 20mm length, but the tape itself is 30mm. So that will create that overlap, like a shingle roofing overlap we mentioned before, giving it that distinguished rumble. Remember to always start with a white piece to connect visually to the future edge line. Then red, white, red, and repeat until it's completed. Cut any excess, shape the edges, and our curb is done. Okay, now listen to this. That's the rumble I was talking about. It looks great, and if you have a car riding the curbs, you can actually hear it. The last thing we're going to do, we're going to sand the surface to take that shiny part away, give it a little bit of grip, and it highlights the rumble as well. Last but not least, we're going to add the lines. I'm free-handing it, but if you don't have a steady enough hand, you can use any sort of tool. The good thing is with the white marker, if you do a mistake, you can rub it off. And here is the end result.
All right, we are back at the track and it's time for the last stage. This is where the track stops looking painted and starts looking used. It's weathering. Before anyone panics, no, This isn't a model railway experiment of some sort. The tools are simple. A stiff brush and a whiteboard marker, or vice versa. You know what I mean. Why a whiteboard marker? Because a permanent one is a lot harder to fade. Remember, the goal here is wear, not damage. What we are targeting is the racing line. Corner entry, apex, corner exit. Anywhere cars scrub speed, load the tires, brake hard, or drift a little bit wide. The yellow string you see in the back on the track here will serve as a guide for the racing line. And I masked the rail so we can work more quickly and efficiently. With that, we are ready to go.
Okay, the first thing that we need is our black paint. I'm using a cheap acrylic crafting paint for this project. You don't need anything fancy. I added a little bit of water, but generally speaking we need the consistency to be pretty thick because we're going to be dry brushing. The other thing I did here, I'm using a paper sheet to dry my brush and take all the excess paint off it. Then with quick light strokes we start doing a faded line over the racing line on the track. Don't overthink this. Rear tracks aren't evenly worn, so some sections might be hammered, others barely touched. Just allow the tool to do the job for you. And what I actually mean by that is that I found that an old brush works better because he has a tendency to leave lines on the surface that look pretty much like tire marks, and that's perfect. For any mistakes, you can use a damp cloth or tissue to rub the excess paint off or fade your lines a little bit more. It works very well. And in reality, the only way to mess up this is to put too much paint on your brush. But again, a little bit of water on a cloth or a tissue and it's easy to remove. You will see me that I'm actually doing that mistake in a couple of areas. Be patient with it. Be slow. You don't have to be too quick. Try and have a loose wrist because that would create more natural looking lines and curves, especially on the corners. Don't be afraid to go outside the racing line as well. There are cars that move on the other areas or create their own racing lines or just drift out or crash. So nice, loose and easy, and I can guarantee you it will look great in the end. You can see me going over the same areas over and over again. I'm doing that with a totally dry brush with no paint at all, or with a damp tissue. I'm doing that to lighten some areas that came out a little bit too dark. Once happy with the result, I'm moving to the black marker, and I'm using that to add tire marks. After each line is done, I'm doing a quick pass with the tissue to take off the majority of the paint, so that leaves a nice faded mark that looks a lot more natural than using a permanent marker. Again, for this, don't overthink it. If it starts looking symmetrical, stop. Step back and try and look at it from a driver's perspective.
If it looks believable, you are done. And if it feels like you haven't done enough, you can always add more. What the?
And here you have it. the mighty Air1 circuit. Used, abused, with all the marks and scars displaying its racing history. If you too are looking into taking on this challenge, to make your track look like a true battlefield of man and machine, remember, this project isn't about perfection. Real tracks aren't clean. They aren't perfect. They're worn, patched, and marked by laps. Stained by oil, scorched by burning rubber, and smelling of champagne. In the end of it, if your track looks a little rough around the edges, a bit beaten, a bit abused, you'll know you've done it right. Crafty, out.